This podcast is just for fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research. I don't know what you just said, but it sounded good, bud. Welcome
to the show.
Bro, why? Why?
There's nobody else to pick up the middle part.
You could have just said to the.
No.
Or if you did two and then I would have done the, you could have finished with show.
I don't want to do it like that.
Welcome to the
No,
it doesn't sound good.
Do it again. Run it back.
Welcome
to the
show. So no, do welcome, and then you say
to
two.
The.
Just say two.
Oh, two.
Welcome to the
show.
So that would have worked too.
Yeah, well,
mine
went fine.
Whatever. No, it's too late. It's on there.
Fine.
It's on there. No, it's on the show. It's too late.
It is.
It's already.
And I think it's fine.
It's on there. It is fine, but it's not good.
Whatever, man. Whatever you say.
Whatever.
Fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
It's fine. It's
okay.
It's whatever.
Not mad.
Yeah, if you don't notice, there's nobody holding us accountable for how we're talking right now. So that means that clearly it's just a Phil and Tanner show.
Oh, hey, you forgot to grab your drink.
I know, it's over there. I gotta go get it. I gotta squeeze.
That's fine. I'll keep the people entertained. Don't worry about it.
Okay, you do that. You keep them entertained.
My entertainment is just laughing.
I'm back. All right.
Back like you never left. Do you want to just get right into the
things? I want to do... Okay, first of all, we got to advertise Patreon. Patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. $5 gets you in the door. $10 gets you access to bigger lives and priority on the episode request list. And frankly, $10 just helps us out that much more. And so your money helps us, and we're getting enough Patreon supporters and enough support. We're already beginning to look at cameras, and we're thinking it's a possibility if we can pick up a couple more Patreon subscribers through the summer, we might be able to do a video episode for our 100th. So
sick.
That would be so cool to kick off 100 episodes live. We could even do a live episode with cameras if we had it by then, but we do need a little bit more support. We're not quite there. So patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. Check us out. Buy supplements from Insane Labs. Use the code BA Bigfoot. It gives you a 45% discount on select items. They've got a lot of cool stuff coming out soon, and so check them out. And shout out. First and foremost, I do want to do a shout out on the episode to, I know we did it on the Patreon, to Jay Bravo and his lovely wife, Mrs. Bravo. I don't know if they want to use their real names on here, but they are such big supporters of ours. They support the podcast. They straight up anytime, like he advertised the podcast on his lives. He goes live like nightly, basically.
Dude is on TT all the time. He is grinding.
And anytime, like, I pop into the room, he immediately advertises the podcast. When Mike pops into the room, he immediately advertises Mike's music. When Courtney, she doesn't pop in the room, but whenever I share something of hers, he shares it and is super supportive of her writing and her online stuff. And so we just want to give love where love is due, or respect was. Give respect where respect is due. But shout out to Jay Bravo. If you are on TikTok, if you are on TT, go just search Jay Bravo and give him a follow. Hop into one of the rooms, tell him Bigfoot sent you, and it'll be a good time. But shout out to those guys, that whole family, that whole crew. They're so supportive of ours. I want to say there's actually like 2 or 3 of them that are Patreon supporters of ours now.
Oh shoot!
From his crew, and so they listen to the podcast, and it's good. Anyway, just wanted to do that, and now I do want to bust out. I am drinking. I keep going back to when we record later in the afternoon. I go back to Bum Energy. It's nice.
Is that
it's
Dr.
good.
Bum?
No, this one's. I got Dr. Bum, but I also got root beer.
Similar color. Oh,
I bought a case, and it comes with Dr. Bum, cola, grape soda, and root beer as the flavors, and that'll be in later this week. But it's good.
I'm just running my Viking Berry Monster that I left here last week.
Oh, that's a good
3 weeks ago or whatever.
It tastes like root beer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good. That hits the spot. All right.
I didn't have this is the first caffeine that I've had today.
You know, I need to add.
That's all I had a Dr. Pepper.
I should add Bum Energy to my showcase. If I drink an energy drink today, like nowadays, I actually tend to go to Bum Energy just because I take when I work on days I work out, I was planning on working out today, and so I drank a pre-workout, and then everything was all weird, and I ended up not working out. And so I drank 400 milligrams of caffeine already today. And so it's like something with 100 milligrams.
What time were you planning on working out?
Well, once we figured out that you weren't going to be on the show, I was like, okay, I could go right now and work out. So I drank it real quick, and then it didn't work out. It happens. And so I drank a lot of caffeine. And so I'm stuck with drinking this one. But
in the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
let's get our Bigfoot affirmation. Actually, I want to
read it. I want to do the reading.
Oh, you're going to read it this time?
I also want to see if you're a better psychic receiver than deliverer, and or a better receiver than I am.
Smelling salts. These are not as potent as yours are, but it is still a nice little pick-me-up when I need it.
Okay, let's see here.
All right.
What freaking number?
All right, you got to be psychic. You got to psychically tell me the number. Okay, tell me when to go.
Go.
Okay. 72.
Wow, you were way off.
Dang it. 17. Those are the two numbers I got in my head.
It was 18.
Oh, I would have been close. All right, ready? Send the words.
Okay. Go.
Let your imagination guide you to greatness and big things in your future.
I feel like you've read enough of these that you were just like, themes.
I'm throw them all out there. One of them's got to stick.
Buzzwords.
Yeah, exactly.
Life's mysteries make it beautiful.
Ooh, I was so close. Yep. Life's mysteries make it beautiful.
You sure were. Good job, Johnny.
So close. I was so close. All right, let me double check, make sure this is recording, because it's really frustrating when it's not. It's only happened twice, but I'm all paranoid that it's not going to record. All right, Jim Karens. We talked about Jim Karens on the Patreon quite a bit. So those of you guys who are subscribers on Patreon, you get to hear. Oh, I gotta confirm that I'm real. Apparently. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Jim Karens. So we had a new experience. This one wasn't with old ladies, though. But I'm still going to call them Jim Karens because
Karens don't have to be old.
They don't have to be old, and they don't have to be female.
You could be a 20-year-old Karen.
You could be a 20-year-old
male Karen.
Jim Karen.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's a thing, right?
That's absolutely a thing.
Okay, so to the Jim Karen story. Okay, you guys might remember The guy who lifts, he was doing decline dumbbell press in the Smith machine, while also doing incline dumbbell press in the squat machine.
One of the squat machines.
While also using the cable attachments.
Handles. The single arm handles.
Two single arm handles to do pull-ups in the other squat machine, a squat rack.
Yep.
And also was doing sit-ups in the deadlift platform.
Yep.
This guy, okay? So he walks up to me. So we're doing tricep extensions. And this guy walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, how many more sets you got?" And
this is so great.
So Phil hears him. I didn't even hear him.
You were mid-set.
Yeah, I was like mid-set. Yeah, so I'm like lifting and he walks up to talk. But anyway, Phil's like, I think after this we're done. And I was like, what? And then Phil was like, oh. And then
you
after
didn't need to worry about it because you were just doing your thing anyway.
So I finished my set.
It wasn't going to change anything.
Yeah. So I finished my set and Phil walks over to our bags and is starting to put his stuff away. And I walk over to our bags, but I'm like 2 steps away from this machine at this point. I could be walking over to grab water. I could be walking over to grab a wipe. I could be walking out to get, like, I'm literally 2 steps away from this machine.
There's no reason to believe that you're done with the machine.
Jim Karen number 2, he's got to be 22 maybe at most.
Yeah. Maybe
a college student. He's another one of our gym nemesis because he always steals all our crap while we're working out.
He's my number 1.
He's Phil's number 1.
I despise this individual.
So I'm 2 steps away from it, and he sneaks in, snags the crossbar, the crooked bar that we're using, or no, the ropes. It was ropes.
Yeah, it was ropes. Yep.
Snags the ropes that we're using.
There's 2 sets of ropes. One was being used on the other cable machine.
Yes, but we'll get to that guy in a minute. So he literally jolts in, snags the ropes before I can even fully walk away. He's already starting to take the ropes off. I realize what he did. And he snuck in and he stole the ropes from the dude just asking how many more sets we had because he wanted to do ropes. Snags the ropes from him, takes them over to the other machine, and begins to work out. So the guy, Jim Karen number 1, who's we'll call him the dumbbell press Jim Karen, whatever.
Circuit
Karen, there you go.
Short circuit.
Circuit Karen.
Tall circuit. He's tall circuit.
Turns around, looks, and is like, what the crap happened to the rope? I just turned around. And he's literally confused, what just happened? And then he kind of got out of the corner of his eye, he sees Jim Karen number 2 using them. And he's like, what? And he looks over, and on the other side of the gym, kind of diagonally over, there's the other set of ropes. Currently, at that point in time, not being used. There was a Jim Karen number 3. This Jim Karen hadn't done a set in probably 20 minutes. He had set up the ropes and then sat down and had been on his phone for probably 20 minutes at least, probably.
Minimum.
At least.
The entire time that we were doing our ropes.
He didn't do a single set.
Actually, the entire time we were doing
in
triceps,
that time.
Period.
Yeah. He didn't touch a weight during that period of time. So Jim Karen number 1 starts to walk over there to get the ropes because, as of his opinion, there's nobody on them because Jim Karen number 3 is just sitting there and has been sitting there for 20 minutes. He gets 2 steps away, and Jim Karen number 3 stands up and starts to lift with the ropes. So Jim Karen number 1 is like, what is going on? And this guy, you can tell he's got main character syndrome. He's the main character.
Yep.
And his face, the look on his face was just utter, defeat, confusion, frustration, offense. The amount of emotions that went through his face in 5 seconds. And then he's just it was like a robot melting down. He couldn't decide what he wanted to do. He was just I got to do my circuit. I got to do it. And so then out of frustration, he walks back and grabs something else. I don't even remember what he grabbed. and begins using the cables a different way.
It was the solid single arm.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was the solid single arm because he was using the double single arms to do pull-ups. Yeah, so he had to grab one of the steel handle single arms in order to do his tricep extensions. And so in that moment, I'm watching this just unfold of just Jim Carrey number 1, Jim Carrey number 2, and Jim Carrey number 3 interacting together, and everybody is inconveniencing everybody. And for a split second, I was like, you all deserve this. Oh my gosh. It was so funny. Oh man. I laughed so I was trying not to like bust up laughing because Phil didn't even see, like, you saw about half of it, right?
I saw the second half. I saw him, like, Jim Carrey number 1. I saw him, like, walk over and then, like, walk back over to where we were at and grab the single arm, the steel handle, and go back and hook it up and start lifting. I was like, wait, what? Because you're just like standing there, like suppressing maniacal laughter. And I'm just like, my gosh, what is happening? And then we walk out and you tell me what happened. Like, it was a battle of the Jim Carrey. So it's like, yes.
It was hilarious. I think I'm probably eating my mic a little bit.
Would have loved to just go over to number 1 and just be like, that's how it feels. That's how everyone else feels about you all the time.
That's how you make us feel. Literally, yeah.
This is what you do. This is what you are. What you're witnessing, the thing that you're feeling frustration from.
Yeah.
That's you.
That is for real.
He's you. Like, this is you.
I wanted to so bad. But for real though, it was so dumb.
It was also one of those days where like 70% of the people in there were people that we'd never seen before. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about our gym.
Number 1 and number 2 were the only two, like, regular, semi-regular ones. Yeah. There was like 8 other people in there that we'd never seen before.
I want to say there's only seen one girl that works out at the exact same time, like always to a T. Yeah. She's in there like at the exact same time as we are every time. And then maybe one guy that's half the time.
She had left.
Yeah, she had already left by then. And then there's maybe like one guy that's there like half the time we work out. And it's just like it's such a weird time to lift apparently. Yeah. But anyway. Okay. So moving on from Jim Carrey's. Also, if you on the Patreon, we have 2 other Jim Carrey stories that we told that you only get on the Patreon. Sorry about it, guys. It's not really. It's not that. We told the good one in the main episode. Yeah, but anyway. All right. 3 a.m. conspiracy theory that I came up with. I did not come up with it. I'm lying. Okay. I stole it from somebody. All right.
Send it.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice conspiracy theory. You ready for it?
I saw this.
Okay.
But go for it.
Pumpkin spice isn't seasonal marketing. It's a timed chemical release that spikes serotonin in women, specifically creating artificial nesting instincts right before election season to influence the voting patterns.
Yep. I saw this. I love this theory.
Hard.
I love this theory.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. Part of me is like, because
it's just diabolical enough to be plausible.
2 years ago, before we started this podcast, I would have saw that and went, "That's funny," but there's no way. But after doing this show for 2 years, part of me wonders if there isn't a genuine, because they do.
Yeah.
They advertise home stuff.
Yes.
That all the decorations for Thanksgiving comes out. Like, it seems
I have a question.
Intentional.
I have a question.
It seems intentional. That's all I'm going to say.
When was the voting season established? When was election season established to be November?
Let's figure it out. Google.
How long have elections been in November?
All right. Facts about voting day. I'm Google, you're not good enough. I've got to go to AI. All right. So it says that in the United States, Election Day became fixed as the Tuesday after the first Monday in November in 1845. Holy cow. So, follow-up question. When did when did pumpkin spice become a seasonal thing? Let's see what it says. Send. I don't know how else to ask that. Oh my gosh! In the 1800s, dude.
No,
Wait a second.
No shot.
Wait a second. Okay, that's before our theory, but because the 1880s importance. You were talking about.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So the voting became before that, but yeah, it's oh my gosh. We originally used pumpkin pies in early American cooking. Appeared in cookbooks in the late 1700s. So it first appeared in cookbooks in the late 1700s and became, So the commercialized pumpkin spice, however, as the McCormick seasoning was in the 1930s.
Okay.
But there is a significant overlap there. So, hey, who knows? It's plausible.
Like I said, it's just crazy enough to be plausible. It's just screwed up enough to believe it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, where were you?
Well, I'm on to another thing.
Me too.
Okay. So. You know who might have bought into that before but wouldn't now?
Who?
Joe Rogan. We seem to have lost him.
Oh, what happened? He get bought out by
something happened. He had Theo Vaughn on not long ago, and Theo was going off on something that Joe absolutely would have been 100% on board with, like a year ago.
I'm wondering if some of these guys are spooked.
Dude, he was he went after Theo hard. He's like, we got to get you off those antidepressants. You come hang out with us. Like, calling him crazy. Like, he was straight up calling him crazy. And he straight up lied about where he was when Charlie Kirk happened.
I've seen that. I haven't looked into the confirmation.
So he had Theo on and was talking about this. Well, when that happened, he got the news live as he was recording with Charlie Sheen.
Okay.
And so you see Theo's react because for anybody that hasn't seen the clip, he's talking to Theo and they're talking about the Charlie Kirk incident. And he goes, "Yeah, it was crazy because I was in Utah when that happened." And Theo's like, you just see him get this look on his face like, "No, you weren't. Why are you lying?" And then you can see Theo processing it in real time of like, this ain't my homie anymore. Like, what happened? I don't know what happened here, but something's wrong. Because Joe's like been on board with a lot of crazy sounding stuff forever.
Stuff, yeah.
Like he's been on board with all of it forever, and now he's just flipped.
Yep.
Like, it is not the same thing. So it's like, yeah, that's sad. Bummed me out.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this stuff much in a long time.
He hasn't had anybody on that I've been really intrigued in the last probably 6 months.
Yeah. I haven't watched this stuff in quite a while, or listened to his stuff in quite a while.
I used to listen to a lot because he'd have really good people on. Yeah. And lately he hasn't. And dude, and have you seen the stuff with Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly?
Yeah.
Like, they're full-blown flip-flopping on a lot of, and since we're on...
Yeah, Tucker really disappointed me.
Yeah. Really since that, like, I'll just say, Muslims.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just say that.
I was talking
they were all of a sudden like flip-flopping, and somebody went back and allegedly, this is all for fun. We don't take anything we say seriously. You know the intro. We're just make-believe this is a comedy podcast. This is for fun. It's funny. Haha. I'm joking.
Laugh!
Somebody tracked Tucker Carlson's startup money from when he started his own independent stuff, and it's literally a rich person from the Middle East. We'll just put it that way for the show's sake.
Yeah. I was talking to my mom about this. You can
deduce everything else around that.
I can't remember if it was yesterday or today. I was talking to my mom about like the people. I think it was this morning. A lot of the people that used to make a lot of sense and you agreed with most of the stuff they said and you're like, hey, that's reasonable. Like, you see this thing that I see and you have the same interpretation I do, and then this and this and this. And then you start to see some stuff, you're like, I don't know that I fully agree with that. And then pretty soon they're just like completely
just way off
out
the wall.
gone. And you're just like, what the heck? And so it's like, it makes it really difficult to feel like you can verify anything because like even the same, like the source of information that you agreed with changes their tone on a lot of stuff. And you're just like, I don't know what to believe anymore with anything.
and my question always comes back to, did somebody give you more money than you could dream of? Or did somebody threaten you or your family?
Yeah. I can't
make a very plausible threat.
Right. I can't remember who it was.
On you or your family.
Somebody said Joe got the phone call. And I don't know if it was an offer or a threat.
Yeah.
But it was like you reach a point.
When I was single, or not even when I was single, when I was married, but when I didn't have children.
Yeah.
If I were to be in this situation where I'm on a podcast where we talk about controversial things and something like that happened, I would just be upfront and open. I'd be like, whatever.
Right.
But now that I have kids.
It's different.
Now that I have kids, no. Yeah. I'm shutting my mouth. I'd move on.
Yep.
I would try to make it as inconspicuous as possible, and I would avoid whatever they're wanting me to avoid.
And because
I don't want to, I wouldn't want to give up my platform, which with this platform, it's small enough that like I could plausibly be like, okay, do I want to just give it up?
Right.
And just one day give it up?
Right.
And people, and I'll just put it this way, since nobody has, if all of a sudden, one day, out of nowhere, we haven't talked about it, we haven't hinted at it, we just stopped doing episodes, somebody threatened me.
Yeah.
Somebody called into something that made it to where in order for me to continue my integrity, I would either have to quit the show or lie.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden it just disappears. And otherwise, if we ever stop the show, it's going to be like a countdown.
Yeah.
Like we're going to do 5 more episodes and then we'll switch and maybe do once a month or, like there'll be a very obvious, like, hey, we'll thought about this. Yeah, it'll be communicated.
Yeah.
But if somebody threatens, there'll be no more.
Yeah.
I will just end the show and you will know that's what happened to us.
Well, and I don't know. It comes down to, for me, it's like, how much difference would it really make for you to go against that tide?
Right.
Right?
For me,
would it influence anything? Yeah. Would this help anyone?
Not
would
at
this
the
benefit
size we are.
anyone?
Right.
Yeah. Well, and even for me, it's like even at the size of somebody like Joe Rogan, like what would it benefit for me to sacrifice myself in the face of this? Because they have, because here's the thing, they have the ability to make it look legitimate, like it was your thing and a you problem that caused whatever it is. Right. So if they have the ability to make it look however they want it to look, what are you really accomplishing? Think about now on principle. That's one thing. If you're just going to, and I fully support that. If somebody chooses to, you know what? No, screw them. I'll go out on my terms. Good for you.
Yeah.
But I have an awfully hard time condemning anybody for it.
Right.
I am saddened by Joe Rogan flipping, but I'm not upset at him. I'm not mad at him. I'm not judgmental towards him. Like, how dare you?
Because I know something had to have happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And so it's like, you can't expect someone to stand up alone like that, right?
Right.
Now, if you can, if society at large could identify this is the problem group, these are the people in charge of this, and, take action against it, then, everybody stand up and do it together. Great.
Right, yeah.
But where they're so good at, separating people, right? Isolating people and making it so that you don't have a chance to get attention and support to do something about it.
Yeah.
They vilify you. They make you look crazy. They make you look vindictive, insane, whatever.
Right.
They're so good at that. I don't know. I don't feel like Joe even probably ever had a chance to say not. No. There was no real option there.
There's no choice. It's just you will do this or this. And, it's a whole different world when you're that big, though.
For sure. 100%.
But
absolutely agreed.
Well, speaking of integrity and getting contacted by people, I'm saddened to tell you all that I was not invited into that super secret pastor conversation about the disclosure of world-altering alien information. I wasn't invited. I know. And I was like, dude, okay, so two things. First thing.
How dare you exclude me?
I know. First thing, I mean, I am an executive position within our denomination.
Yeah.
Or first thing. Second thing is, I have a conspiracy theory podcast. Third thing is, I feel like if that was real, I would be one of the ones who would have been contacted if it was a legit thing. But then, all of a sudden, the people from the confessionals comes out, and he was apparently a part of this conversation. I am having an internal argument with myself now because I liked their content before, but knowing they were invited to this conversation that allegedly did or didn't exist, and watching him and the way he defended himself and the amount of red flags that popped up in my own spirit. And again, I'm one of those people, do not trust my word on anything. Yeah. Research and look it up yourself, because I don't want to speak against a podcast creator because I had red flags and assume you need to stay away. Like if you like their show, keep liking it. They have some awesome content. He's not a pastor though. He's just a podcast creator. And so my question then is, and his response is to just smooth things over, it seemed like. Perry Stone is the one coming out, and he's the one blabbering everything. I don't trust Perry Stone at all. But if somebody were to receive information and then use it for their own profit, it's Perry Stone. And so I could see him learning something, running with it, and then all of these guys who are quote unquote in this meeting being told, hey, you now have to come out and say, no, it wasn't discussed. We talked about this in order to whatever. But watching the confessionals, it was like, I don't know. And I'll need, just being vulnerable and blunt, I'll need to watch it a couple more times before I really fully come to a conclusion on it. Because they're because they are people that I support their show. Or not support, but I listen to their show, I should say. That my gut and my instinct is to trust him. But man, when I watched his interview on it from the other day, I got to be honest, I like 100 red flags. Just my gut was just churning, and it seemed inauthentic. But again, I'm not calling him and saying that he was being. I'm saying that was my initial gut perception. And I'm not even saying like, oh, God told me, or the Holy Spirit told me, or anything. I'm just saying my gut instinct initially was red flags. And so I'm going to watch it again and see if I still get that same feeling. And I encourage you guys, I mean, if you're in our Discord, if you're not in our Discord, we haven't advertised our Discord in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not in our Discord, hit me up. I'll get you a link. But in our Discord, shout it out. If you've seen it, let us know. Like, what are your thoughts about the confessionals, their interview on him talking about being invited to this? But basically, his perception of the meeting was different than what Perry Stone was saying. His perception was that basically it was somebody trying to warn them ahead of time that a deception is coming. Perry Stone's viewpoint was that somebody got a hold of them and was telling them, you need to prepare your flock because something that would come against Christianity that will change the face of Christianity is getting ready to be released. It's possible they were part of two different conversations. Yeah. It is also possible that they were a part of the same conversation and got two different things out of it. Well, Perry Stone wasn't in it. It was one of Perry Stone's friends. It is possible. It's possible that Perry Stone heard something from his friend and what he heard his friend say wasn't what his friend said. Yeah. There's a lot of variables in this whole thing, and it's just a giant mess. But I will say this on the pod. the one thing I can guarantee is that when the time of deception comes, the deception is going to be so good that even some of those who are followers will be deceived.
Yeah.
That's going to have to be some pretty good deception going on.
Yeah.
So then again, who's deceiving? Is the confessionals the deceiving? Is Perry Stone deceiving? Are they both deceiving? Are neither one of them deceiving? What's up?
Hi. Unexpected.
You're going to join us?
Is that okay?
Yeah. Oh, is the Bennett Meister going to join
Got
us?
some veggie straws.
Cool. You can come sit down and hang out if you want, or you can sit out there and play.
Well,
You're just in time
Okay.
for the probably the biggest piece of
Sounds good, buddy.
current events
I heard
news.
Yeah, we just got done talking about we're just now finishing up talking about the pastors getting invited to the meetings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm curious
And then
about
I
that
was going to
myself.
springboard off of that into, have you seen the new videos?
I watched the 35 minutes worth of videos that they
I've watched
released.
35. I haven't had.
I
35
did.
minutes.
They and
Dude, there's some wild stuff.
okay.
Like what?
So for me, I had the exact opposite perception. So I want you to share
It's government released stuff.
officially government released. So I had the
Well,
exact
that's the
opposite.
wild part, right? Like, there's just a lot of different stuff as far as videos from, like, Flare videos. I think there was stuff as far back as, like, which spacecraft was it, the earliest one that they had stuff from? It was from, like, one of the later Apollo missions, I think they had video from, of, like, UAP. Like...
What? Like during an Apollo mission?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I had the exact opposite reaction as you were having.
Okay.
I was so underwhelmed.
Really?
I literally was watching it, and my first reaction was, one, this is the exact same stuff we've been watching on YouTube for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, these clips are not new.
That's kinda
They're
what I
basically the same
wondered.
thing. The second thing I thought was, how is there not a single solitary clear video?
Yeah.
In all 35 minutes, every single video was blurry, warped,
Okay.
or heat, or different.
Did
like,
you
temperature
see...
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Did you see the, like, wheel one?
I did see that one.
Okay.
That one was cool. But again,
Okay.
blurry.
I didn't think it was that blurry.
It was super blurry.
Are you confusing blur with just the nature of flare?
Did anyone
No.
send them to me? Because
I can send them to you.
I have not had time to look stuff up. So
It was
Now, I
when
saw...
did they release? Was
it
just
looked like the-
today.
Like today.
It was like...
the one he's talking about. It looks like it could be like the wheel within the wheel,
Oh.
but there's no clarity to it. And again, because
Have we
of
seen that before though?
Yes and no. Again, I don't know. I wasn't impressed with it, to be honest. And I don't know. I watched through the whole thing. I will say that is the only one that I did stop and I went back and I watched it again.
Yeah.
So if there was one that I watched and I was like, hey, that is actually impressive, it is the one that looked like the wheel within the eat with a wheel, like how you would imagine a biblically accurate angel looked.
Which inspired our podcast name.
Yes.
Yes.
And so that was probably the only one. By the way, we are live on TT right now until we get done with
Nice.
current events.
The video's on you, right?
Yes, it's on me.
Okay.
The screen is weird and it's making my
I'm not
face
ready to
look
be
like
videoed yet.
both. It keeps like warping, like I'm skinny and chubby at the same time. It's weird. I don't like it. We'll go down so it fixes itself.
Okay, and it's like leaving this like stream or like
Yeah,
some
there's
sort of
a trail.
signature- trail behind it. Are people going to start
You
saying
could
that
honestly-
that's what the Star of Nazareth was?
If you want to If you want to go look at the videos, just go to YouTube. Just search the UAP files is the name of it.
Did you see
that's probably the only video out of all 35 minutes. That's the only one that impressed me.
Balloon/jellyfish looking one. Did you see? Did you see the estimated speed that they had that at?
Mm-hmm. But again, it's nothing new. That's the same stuff as we've been watching for 10 years now.
I felt like the clarity on the wheel one was significantly better than anything previous.
It wasn't any clearer than anything I've seen before. But it was, I will say, out of the comparison to the other videos from the release, it was the most impressive of the release.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anything in there that I was like, wow, this is brand new to me. Like, I didn't see a single one. But again, I'm not trying to say that, like, you should have had the same reaction as me.
No,
That's why I wanted you to talk on it first. Sure. Because I know that everybody's going to have completely different reactions. But I also, I wasn't that impressed, to be honest.
I guess that's kind of the thing, though, is like, what reaction should we have?
I
don't know. I mean, considering
and as
the
pastors,
quality,
like, how do we field questions
right.
on it? Because that's kind of the whole thing, right?
I kind of have the same opinion as with the space shuttle stuff. In today's day and age of technology, how is there not a single quality video that wasn't edited from the space mission?
Right.
You know? A random dude can walk out with his phone and zoom in on the moon and take a better quality video than they were taking next to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, why is all the quality of this stuff so bad? And I think that it's by design. Yeah. And so two things tells me. One, either they only release the blurry ones, or two, these aren't capable of being seen clear, which means that there's got to be a demonic influence into it. Mm-hmm. If they're not capable of being seen clear, there's got to be something.
Clearly,
there's some there's some show and mirror, smoke and mirror going on. And so I don't know, and maybe that's why I'm not impressed, just because I don't know. If you really want to, like, they made such a big deal about the release.
Yeah,
I have one video in there that's like crystal clear. Zoomed in, you can see the gray drive in it, kind of thing, one quality video, and there was none. And so I personally wasn't impressed, but if you were impressed by it, hop on the Discord, let me know, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I am wrong and that Phil is correct.
Intrigued by the time frame, right? Because what was the previous oldest that we had seen? Like the video that dated the farthest back of any, actual videoed UAP.
I'm not 100% sure with that.
Because the fact that we had something from as far back as the Apollo missions was pretty wild to me. That was kind of the most, just, I don't know. There's a pretty good variety. It was a lot of stuff.
I recently heard something about the Apollo missions that I had never heard before, that a lot of people probably have heard before. Yeah, if you hear crunching, that's Bennett eating some veggie straws.
I'm just breaking my fingers.
Yeah.
For fun.
He's joined us in the studio right now.
Yes.
But I heard this thing. So on one of the original missions, and I don't remember which one it was. So they were in space, and they were reporting that.
Have a good time at the disc golf.
Yeah, we're gonna go play. We'll go play tomorrow, bud. But so they were watching outside their windows, and they were like, "We're seeing a flash of light," and then a little bit later, they were like, "Hey, so we're seeing that flash of light at the exact same time," and then a little bit goes on, and they're like, "So we're seeing that flash of light no matter where we're looking and whether or not our eyes are closed." And we're both seeing it at the exact same time. And then a little time goes on, and then they were like, we're going to get back to you guys. And so they continue to report seeing these, and they were like multicultural, or not multicultural. Oh my gosh. Multicolored, almost like you're looking through like a church stained glass window.
Yeah.
Just like a prism of lights of color.
Yeah.
And they were like, we keep seeing it at the exact same time.
Say whether or not our eyes are
whether
closed.
their eyes are closed, no matter where they're looking, it was like it was showing up in in the exact same spot in their eyes. Well, what?
I need more veggie straws.
Okay, get some, bud. No matter what happened, or after the fact, they came out and they basically said, so their theory is, and they straight up said, this is our theory, is that what was happening was it was radiation. And so whenever there was a pulse of radiation hit them, they were seeing it because that's the way that their eyes
is pulled in the front by the tornado.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the way
that I got hit by the white thing, and he started driving in a rainbow playground.
I don't know what you just said, but it sounded good, bud. But anyway, so the radiation was actually causing their brains to interpret it as though they were seeing this light, but the reality was it was just their brains getting pulses of radiation.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That is a crazy theory.
Huh.
But anyway, yeah. All right. Well, that's
So, it wouldn't have shown up on a camera then.
probably not. It probably would have maybe deteriorated. And again, maybe from outside space, that could be maybe deterioration of the camera stuff.
Yeah, and that's what
But again, tell us that.
Yeah.
Don't Photoshop it.
I was literally going to ask that. doesn't radiation in outer space degrade
It should I was going to say, it should still affect cameras.
Yeah.
It might not show up the same way, but you should be able to detect something.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
It's
Because direct radiation really messes with cameras.
Yeah. Okay, Bennett.
Oh my goodness.
Don't chew on the thing.
I
Okay.
am blocked out of
Last,
my mic.
we're gonna go off a little bit on our last piece of current event knowledge. So, Yellowstone, there was 2 tourists who were
I saw this.
unalived by bears, and so then they closed the park and were limiting it to people.
I said, oh my. Mom said, stay in the living room. I cook mac and cheese, and he helped me cook.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
But I don't know. I was frustrated that.
Okay.
All right, Benny, you're being a little dramatic now.
He's very comfortable.
My thought process with that is people are going to people, and that's just
So why
that's,
don't-
I blame the people
because
and not the bears.
There was also a bear that was unalived by a car
Right.
last year. They didn't close the park because of that. It's I don't know.
Y'all still pick the Bears?
Well, the bears were just being
Being a jackwagon.
in that moment. The bears were just being bears.
Mm-hmm.
The people were the ones.
know.
If you get unalived by a bear, unless you just get caught on a trail. If you get randomly caught on a trail and it happens, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But for that to happen as it is, that's the people. And so people are going to people.
It's if y'all can't play nice with the bears, and it's the same thing with kids. If you break a toy and you can't play nice with the toy, then we're gonna shut down the fun. So if y'all can't handle the wildlife and one of them gets unalive because of your negligence, there's going to be consequences to that. No one can enjoy them anymore.
Yep.
Not just when it's the humans.
Exactly. People are going to people.
I think I've told this before on the podcast, but I thought when we went to Yellowstone when I was in high school, I thought I was going to watch a couple people get murked by a bear because they're stupid, and the bear was between the road and the tree line, and people went around behind the bear, got between the bear and the tree line.
Yeah.
And you could see the bear starting to look around not a fan of that.
Yeah.
And it was we're going to leave now. Good luck, idiots.
Yep.
Nature going to do nature stuff.
Oh man.
Can't be helped.
People are not smart.
Nope.
But, all right.
They're not.
Well.
I reckon. It's about the end of the current events.
I think we are. We're at the end of the current
right.
events.
So
with that, we are we were live on TikTok, just allowing people to kind of get a sense for what the podcast is like. And so I'm going to say goodbye to our people on TikTok.
you said you weren't going to do that.
I know, but I am.
lied.
I decided to. Say bye to everybody on TikTok. Thanks for joining in. If you want to hear the rest of the show, we're getting ready to get into part 4 of the Dulce Base. And just kind of, we'll probably wrap up the rest of this episode. And then next week, we'll be talking about the Philadelphia experiment. So, tune into the show. Get wherever you get podcasts. Don't forget to join us. Okay, bye. All right. No, we're still recording, bud. We're still recording. We're still recording.
Sadness.
I'm just ending the live. Oh, yeah. I got all of my stuff from it. That's kind of nice. But yeah, so this episode, Phil, did you do you didn't listen to last week's episode?
No.
Did you? Were you were on? You were on.
Yeah.
I'm caught up.
Good.
So this week's episode is kind of putting a bow on everything else that had happened. So
Do not.
Okay.
I thought he was gonna like raspberry into the mic. I was like, do not. You're fine, bud.
So
I know, Phil.
I'm sorry, what's my name?
He didn't even call you Bill this time.
No.
That's
He was like, I know.
It's okay.
I know Phil. I'm going to call you. I know Phil. I know. Okay. Anyway, so this week we kind of wrap a bow on everything. So we kind of had the
sorry.
The child is Riley today. But so for the last couple episodes,
Wiley.
Riley, Rowdy, riled up.
Riley, whatever. Wiley, Coyote, Wiley.
Riled and rowdy.
Isn't that why he's called Wiley Coyote?
No. Well,
But you said
Yeah.
Riley.
Oh, did I say Riley?
Yes.
Oh, Wiley. So the last few episodes, so we, part 1, part 2, yeah, he's upset now. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. This is a family show. Part 1, part 2. I've been getting to the point where I just don't like editing it. Like, I just leave stuff in. If it's funny, it's
part
funny.
of the show.
Yep, it happens. Nobody really minds that much that 30 seconds, worth of a child distraction. Part 1, part 2, we really kind of built the foundation of like where a lot of this came from. And then part 3, we really got to the explosive, this is what caused the Dulce Base to blow up into what it became. This week, we're going to kind of just focus on a few different people. We're going to tie up a couple loose ends and kind of come to a conclusion of like what we think the Dulce Base really is. So the first person we're going to talk about today, his name is John Lear. Does that name sound familiar to you?
Like the jet?
Yes.
Oh.
Like the jet.
When you just spun me around blindfolded with a dart in my hand, I threw it and hit a bullseye.
John Lear's dad invented the Learjet. And he was heir to the Learjet company. So he was born in 1942. So Bill Lear was the inventor and famous Learjet company owner. So John had a pretty unique perspective on all of this stuff. He was an accomplished pilot himself. He held multiple world speed records for flying.
Bro knew stuff about planes.
And cargo operations around the globe and all of that. Then all of a sudden in the mid-'80s, he blows up into this. I keep saying blows up.
Kaboom.
He becomes prominent for claiming that he uncovered evidence of massive government cover-ups involving extraterrestrials, underground military bases, secret treaties, and alien experimentation on humans.
That's a no-no. They don't like that.
He also specifically paints a different picture than what had been painted before. Before, they were painting aliens as this, like, they're just here visiting, they're peaceful. He painted this picture of, like, no, they're dark, they're evil, they're demonic, basically. They're abducting, they're making experiments, doing all this stuff. And he specifically alleged that there was hidden underground facilities at the Dulce Base in Archuleta Mesa.
I just want to throw something out here. We've never really...
In the 80s.
We've never really touched on this before, like, or at least I don't think we've... I guess it depends on your definition of aliens based on what we've said before. I guess this is kind of implied, but when it comes to, like, the idea of, like, aliens being good or evil or whatever, I feel like you don't unlock intergalactic / interdimensional travel without being, like, kind of bad.
Yeah, probably.
I just want to throw that out for anybody that still thinks maybe aliens are cool.
I'm a big fan of either the dark forest theory, which is if anything out there exists, they're not going to make themselves known because they want to be cautious to make sure that there's not something bigger and badder in the dark forest. Mm-hmm. The second thing is that I believe is if they have the technology to get here, they're either never going to be known that they're here, or they're going to enslave us,
right?
Or just flat out wipe us out and take over our planet,
right?
One of those three scenarios. Yeah. If we know they're here, then they're not from outer. Then they don't have that kind of technology,
right? Yeah.
And I don't see a way that they wouldn't have anyway. But I don't know. Anyway.
I just want to throw that out there because we hadn't really talked about that concept before, I don't think.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. So, in 1987, so if you remember the stuff from last week's episode, which Phil does not because he has not listened to it yet.
I'll remember it by the time everyone else hears this.
That's true. Possibly. You should.
I really want to listen to the whole thing.
It's probably a top 5 episode. Like,
I really want to listen to the whole thing. I wanted to listen to it before we recorded this, but
you need to listen to it before next week.
Okay.
Because if you don't listen to it before we record next week's podcast, you're going to be really confused about how we got to where we're getting. Yeah. Okay. This week's episode is, you don't need it for this.
Okay.
So in 1987, which last week's episode, we talked about, it occurred between 85 and 95. I had been up until this week going in chronological order with all of the biggest events. Now I'm kind of taking a step back and saying, okay, back in 1987, John Lear began discussing what he was claiming were government agreements with extraterrestrials. He was saying our government has got into contract with aliens. And he says basically that after Roswell, that the encounters continued, they just became less showy, less out there, better covered. And partially because our government, and he claimed that our government went into an agreement in order to exchange technology with the aliens. And in return, the aliens would be provided the ability to do biological research on animals and humans at any cost. Basically, just gave them a contract.
You said
basically.
This was what year?
1987.
Okay. I'm just going to... This is maybe a bit coincidental. What year do you think the movie They Live came out?
1987?
88.
Wow.
That thought just crossed my mind. I was like, what year was that? That seems about right.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. That is kind of wild.
Just talk about like the cover, you know, like how it was starting to be, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's make a movie that, you know, gets everybody thinking that this is all conspiracy stuff and sci-fi.
I mean,
that's a cover.
For real. Yeah. So Lear claimed that and he didn't call it the Dulce Base. He called it a base beneath the Archuleta Mesa, which is near Dulce, which is where same place as Paul and Phil and everybody are claiming that this base exists. So he claims that there's an underground facility there operated by both humans and extraterrestrials. So according to him, the base was super deep underground, which, as we talked about last week, he claimed that it was 2.5 miles down. But that in this were 6 or 7 stories. I think it was, I'll get to it later in my notes, but that there was just this massive base. And in this base, he said that it's a massive military operation, and there's alien habitation there where aliens live. There's labs. And there's experimentation going on both the alien side as well as the human side. Okay. Lear continues to speak about this, and he continues to show, and it has radio appearances, TV appearances, conferences, and the story continues to grow. And as he's telling the stories, basically it's like he's claiming that he's uncovering new information, or he's releasing new information, or maybe he feels more comfortable sharing. But he says that in the Dulce Base, that the aliens were cooperating with the human scientists, and they were conducting biological research on both animals and humans jointly as well. So it's not just the aliens doing stuff to humans. Humans were also doing it. He claimed that there were hybrid creatures being made. And if you remember from part 2 of the frog monkey baby thing that was implanted into the cow. I wonder if there's a little bit of something to that. He suggested that biological materials like blood, the organs, the glands, the sex organs, tissues were being harvested for either alien survival or genetic experimentation. And we learned some crazy things last week that you know what? I am not going to spoil it, because if you haven't listened to the episode, I just want to tease you need to go back and listen, because I don't want to spoil it for you in the middle of this episode. And Phil, since you haven't listened to it, I don't want to spoil it for you. There are some crazy things that, there's ties to modern stuff with like Jeffrey Einstein in last week's episode. You've got to go listen. Yeah. All right, that's a teaser for you if you haven't listened. And then as Lear is continuing to tell the stories, eventually he starts discussing what later become known as the Dulce War. The Dulce War, according to him, was this point where either initial contact or tensions just rose to a point where eventually fighting erupted between the humans, the military personnel, and the extraterrestrial. I can't talk today.
Words are difficult. It's
extraterrestrials inside the underground facility. So this war breaks out, and
when was that supposed to have happened?
In late 80s is when he claimed. No, yes, no. I don't know if he ever put a date to it. I don't have a date on my notes. I will say that. I would have to look that up. If you want to look that up on your phone, if you have service, or if you have, say
battery.
If you need, you can plug in afterwards. I'm chilling for the moment. Okay, so this fighting erupted, and the number commonly associated with this was 66 personnel. And if you remember from last week's episode,
79 according to AI.
1979. Okay. That actually lines up with the stuff we talked about yesterday, so never mind. I don't know why I was thinking 89. Maybe I was thinking 79 and I said 89. But anyway, so the number associated that the humans that were lost is around 66, which if you remember from last week's episode, he claimed as well that 66 people were lost, and he was one of, if not the only survivors. So this Dulce War, Phil Schneider is the guy from last week's episode. A lot of people associate the firefight story with just Phil Schneider, but at the same time, John Lear was going around discussing this conflict before Schneider was ever even fully public. He had been discussing it for a while, and in the mid-1990s, both Phil Schneider and Lear are being credited for this story of the Dulce War, basically. Another major component that John Lear comes out with is he's talking about, and I know this is a little more informative than story, but in order to tell the story last week and in parts 1, part 2, I had to leave all of this information out. So now I'm bringing this information in and providing it because these don't have a story. Gotcha. This is just information that they shared.
It's information that's pertinent to the story.
It's pertinent to the story, but it's not a story. So part 4 is not going to be as fun to listen to as part 3, but I feel like all this information is either confirming or questionable based off of your own personal beliefs in this.
Okay.
So another aspect that John Lear is saying is that there is a government organization called the MJ-12, or the Majestic 12. He claimed that it's operated as an oversight group that managed extraterrestrial contact and suppressed public knowledge of them. That was their entire job. According to Lear, the intelligence agencies actively silenced witnesses, manipulated media narratives, concealed evidence of underground bases and alien activity and all of that. Which, okay, when 12, 13 people go missing, as occurred back then, which kind of connects to modern day stuff.
Yeah.
Back then, around the same period, 12 people kept coming up unalived or self-unalived or mysterious deaths. You have to start going, okay, the intelligence agencies are probably involved in this.
Usually are.
Yeah. And Lear created a document called the UFO cover-up. And this paper was basically it kind of built modern conspiracy culture when it comes to aliens. It was connecting together the major UFO conspiracies rather than, you had Roswell, you had the idea of Area 51, you had all these independent incidences. John Lear was really the one who was like, okay, here's the line between these, here's the line between these, let's connect some dots. Yeah. He was kind of the modern, he brought it to that modern, like, hey, let's connect dots that we haven't connected before. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of the kind of created the framework of modern, like, conspiracy theory, like, thought processes, based off of this document called the UFO cover-up. It discussed gray aliens, abductions, hybrid programs like the working together, cattle mutilations, one way or the other, cattle mutilations are happening. They were happening, period. That's because of the sheer number of people involved in that, of investigating them and witnesses into them, cattle mutilations were and are happening.
Yeah.
They still are happening. Like, they're happening. What they are, we don't know.
Yeah.
But they are happening. But he also was talking about government treaties, secret military organizations, like all that stuff. And so his stuff kind of leached into everybody's information. So Phil obviously is like, he has this information at his hands when he's sharing all of his stuff as well from last week's episode. And so that's kind of John Lear's big story. Like, he's coming out saying that they can't release information because they feel like it would collapse social order. He believes it would collapse religion, economics, trust in world institutions. And he's basically just coming out and trying to blow the whistle on everything that's happening, saying, hey, these guys are lying to you, claiming that he had sources inside of the intelligence agencies, inside of the military circles, inside of the classified aerospace programs. And considering his lineage and where he came from, there's some credibility there. You have to give some credibility to that. And so over time, as he's speaking and Phil Snyder's speaking, and you have all the cattle mutilation stuff from Paul Benowitz and all those guys, that's when the Dulce Base stuff really started getting famous. Mm-hmm. Which, again, is still crazy to me that I had no clue any of this existed. And so they kind of built the framework. So John Lear is I would say he built the framework of what the modern understanding of what the Dulce Base is. And whether they're true or not, you can't deny his credibility, in my opinion. Because, like, imagine if, like, the son of the owner of Skunkworks came out and was going, hey guys, there's aliens and we're working with them. You'd be like, holy crap.
Aliens designed the B-2 bomber. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's the kind of credibility.
With some weight. Yeah. There's weight to that for sure.
The next person we're going to talk about who's notable in the Dulce Base, his name is Thomas Edwin Castello. The issue with Thomas Castello is, so John Lear is a public person. His background is verified. people knew him. His service record is noted. Documentation existed. Like, there's a reality to who he really was.
Right.
Thomas Castello came out and he claimed that he worked for a high-level security office inside of the Dulce Base. He released a paper called the Dulce Papers where he was whistleblowing everything, but he never allowed his real identity to be known. So Thomas Castello, it's assumed it was a pseudonym because there's no background for this person ever existing. There's no paperwork. There's no trace. There's no nothing. He comes out and he basically says he's so horrified by what he is seeing inside of the Dulce Base that he has no choice other than to come out and share all of this stuff. And he comes out and he's basically saying a lot of the exact same things as John Lear is saying. He's coming out and he's saying, this is everything that's happening. There's the hybridization. They're working with them. They're experimenting. They're doing these things. There's large vats. He's basically come out and said, like, there's large vats containing random human body parts. There's alien labs. There's underground rail systems which connect these underground bases. And that there's like, trail systems, and that there's conflicts going on between the humans and the aliens, and there's a lot of tension going on. So his stuff ties directly to John Lear's stuff, but again, there's no employment records, there's no photographs, there's no physical evidence, there's no him speaking.
He doesn't exist.
Right. You can go watch John Lear speeches, watch him speak. You can go watch, and I watched a lot of hours of Phil Schneider's stuff. You can watch Paul. You can watch all these guys. You can go and do your own research and look these guys up and like see what they're talking about. This guy doesn't exist. But he came out with a lot of stuff that either corroborated or validated, verified other people's claims, and was basically known as like the person inside. And so a lot of people theorize that John Lear was getting his information from this guy. Some people theorize that he is John Lear.
What medium did he use to distribute this information? Was it just through
letters?
Papers?
Letters that he would release.
To where?
And that's the thing. He would give them to somebody, and that person would then run it. And so it was somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So his story, as he claimed, as I said earlier, was that he said he was a security officer inside of the facility in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
He claimed that he would monitor high security areas, operating surveillance systems, overseeing personnel movement between levels of the base. He also alleged that the facility was built near Dulce, New Mexico. So again, kind of corroborating stories. And that it extended deep underground through multiple levels connected by elevators and tunnel systems. So again, you're kind of seeing all of these guys are kind of saying the same things over and over again. Okay. One of the first major claims that Castello made was that the Dulce Base was jointly operated by both humans and extraterrestrials. So again, Lear was saying the same thing as Castello. According to him, though, the base housed several different alien species, not just the Greys. And that the primary aliens were the Greys, but there were many species, and it was kind of just this, everybody was working together and doing horrific experiments. He claimed that these different species worked with different factions in our government, and that they, again, held everything secret from the public. So Castello is the one who came out and said, it was 7, that the base contains 7, at least 7 that he monitored, 7 underground levels. And he said that each level had its own purpose. The upper levels were handled by administration, paperwork, security, that kind of stuff was all upper levels. The standard like military operations, all of that was upper levels. And as you descended deeper underground, he claimed that the activities became more and more secretive and like disturbing. He stated that some levels were advanced scientific laboratories dedicated to genetics, mind control research. So that's kind of interesting. Cloning, hybridization programs, and that they were doing a lot of experiments on human DNA. Same thing as John Lear was saying. He claimed that hybrid creatures were being created, which that goes all the way back to clear back with the puppy monkey baby.
Yep.
And the frog monkey cow thing in the
I don't remember what was involved in that. But yeah.
But he went in and actually like described the experiments. And so there was a level of gruesomeness to what he was explaining. And he was explaining things in a lot of details. And that was part of his claim, was that they were so horrific that he had no choice but to come out and release all this information. He also was the first person who connected officially, quote unquote, from a official source, the cattle mutilation, the widespread, which was widespread at this point. He's the one who connected the cattle mutilation phenomenon in the Southwest to what they were allegedly doing at the Dulce Base. Again, he wasn't the first to come up with the idea. He was the first from a quote unquote official source to come out and claim that they were connected. Again, if he was real, we don't know. That's the problem with it. But they would harvest all of this stuff, and that stuff was important to do the research that they were doing on both with the humans and the cows together research, whatever. And again, it's weird because it's like, it seems to be corroborating everything at the same time as providing nothing. Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. He provided a lot of information, like the 7 levels and all that stuff. But I feel like again, when no face has ever been associated, nobody's came clean after the fact. Right. Which makes you think, but the possibility though on the other side of that is maybe the government was like, you think we're not on to you. Right. We know that you're a Castello. Bye-bye. Oh, cell phone alive. Oh, no. This random security guy died in a horrific accident
at work. Fell off a bridge that had 18-foot railings. Right. Oh, man. Bummer.
But then the other piece of new information that he provided was that they were connected by electromagnetic rails. So they were underground electric trains, basically. And that they connected all over the United States. He claimed that the Dulce Base was directly connected to Area 51 as well. So he kind of bringing all, which,
is there a rail system between those two?
That's what he's claiming. Okay. That there's an underground high-speed transportation system between those two bases. And so, again, it's kind of claiming the same things as everybody else was claiming. Humans are being held against their will. They're being used in biological experiments. There's entire detention centers under there where they keep all of these people who are being held as unwilling subjects. All of the darkest theories were either first provided by Castello or collaborated by Castello. And so he's just kind of an enigma. Let me look at my notes to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. He did also agree that there was disagreements amongst the government and the aliens, in that there was fighting that broke out. And he also, his story merged with the idea of the Dulce War, which was again popularized by Phil Schneider. Castello's accounts already were talking about the conflict, the distrust, the escalating tensions, the agreements, they had to make all of these things in secrecy in order to ensure the human race survived and all these other things. And you can go and read these. The main thing was called the Dulce Papers, in which he quote unquote smuggled out. And this is but he allegedly smuggled out photographs, documents, and security information related to the base. That's all in the Dulce Papers. And you can go look that up and find the information yourself. Yeah. And so then eventually Castello kind of just disappears. He stops pushing stuff out. Something happened to him. Nobody knows because nobody ever came out. Yeah. Nobody ever came out and said, I'm Castello. Castello himself never came out. He wasn't public, like just disappeared. So his public appearances, he just is gone from my understanding of looking him up.
Yeah. Ghost man.
The good part about him is that he released so much stuff. But the bad part is that it's still impossible to figure out like who he was,
right?
Where he came from.
It's hard to attribute credibility to a person that doesn't exist, as far as we can tell.
Let me double check something that just dawned on me.
You're getting this live, listeners, BAs, beautiful humans that we love.
So you can look up the photos of that he released. There is a man named Thomas Allen Levesque that allegedly claimed to be Thomas Castello. But again, we don't really have any verifiable information about Thomas Castello. I didn't verify that nobody had ever claimed to be him, but
just thought you would have come across that and didn't. So there was somebody who did claim that he was that person. But again, there's no way to verify that he actually was Thomas Castello from my understanding and from what I looked up. But yeah, so he existed. Then now we have one more person to talk about, but I want to bring up an actual government project. Okay. This government project took place near where the Dulce Base is. This project was called Project Gasbuggy. This is an actual government project. Okay, Phil? Okay.
In 1967, they went in and they dug down deep and they set off a nuclear bomb underground in an attempt to, as they say, to find natural gas.
Okay.
They found the natural gas, according to Operation Gasbuggy. They found the natural gas, but it was so intoxicated from the nuclear bomb going off that it was unusable. And they couldn't allow it to escape or anything like that because it's nuclear fallout coming out with the natural gas. And so then they tried to close it up. So some people theorize that the entirety of the Dulce Base stems from them creating this system in order to properly close and or eventually vent the natural gas from the Operation Gasbuggy. So they theorized that everything that they had originally shown Paul Benowitz was all just Operation Gasbuggy stuff. Other people claim Operation Gasbuggy was an event that occurred in 1967 and was covered up by them claiming that they couldn't use the natural gas. Some people claim that they ignited and they set off a nuclear bomb underground in order to attack the alien base originally. So there's a few different, just weird things that just pop up when you're looking about all this stuff.
Yeah.
The last person we have is Milton Cooper. Milton Cooper.
You texted me the wrong name.
What, did I?
You said William Cooper.
Oh, Milton William Cooper.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So I forgot his first name when I texted it to you.
Yeah. I got the information anyway, but
yeah, that's true. Better known as Bill Cooper.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah.
So yeah, Bill Cooper. So he is accredited in the same way as like John Lear of building conspiracies into a larger worldview, including governments and stuff. Born in 1943, he served in the U.S. Air Force and then later in the Navy, where he claims to have received classified briefings involving extraterrestrials and secret government projects. And during the 80s, as well as everybody else, he became a major voice in the conspiracy world, like lecture scene that John Lear and Phil Schneider would later become a part of. And he would also do radio broadcasts and wrote a book that is now considered famous called Beyond a Pale Horse.
I've heard of that one.
He focused heavily on extraterrestrials, underground bases, and expand those areas into the framework of the conspiracy theory that involved the already aforementioned MJ-12, which is the Majestic 12, which is the organization that is allegedly exists to hide the existence of extraterrestrials to humans. He built the framework that would include their connection to black budget programs, black budget existence assassinations, psychological operations, psychological warfare. He embraced some of the alien related narratives that were being circulated, including the Dulce Base. But later in life, he's kind of an enigma, because later in life, he became skeptical of extraterrestrial explanations and argued that intelligence agencies were using UFO I really can't speak
UFO mythos? Final.
UFO mythology. Oh my gosh.
Mythology?
Mythology. I quit. I am struggle busting today.
Mythos.
He's using UFO mythology to cover up human-controlled operations.
Stop it.
Oh my gosh.
I can't with you. This is silly.
Super silly. It's so silly.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Okay. So he later would then claim that UFO mythology was being used as a cover-up for human-controlled experimental operations. And possibly even dabble in a little bit of the demonic in there. His early stuff, though, was full-blown aliens, underground facilities, all of this stuff. And later on would say, nope, that the aliens weren't real, that it was all just our government doing all this stuff and using aliens as almost an internal psyops. And using the idea of aliens as a cover-up for what they were actually doing. Which, if you remember from episode 1 and 2, that was basically what happened to Paul. Paul had a government official come in who claims, Officer Doty, claims that everything was a psyop and that he was feeding him the alien stuff to distract him away from the actual secret operation programs. So, so Bill Cooper's popularity and famous in relation to this is that he started out as a John Lear, as one of the other guys. You know, he's entering the UFO scene, the conspiracy theory scene as a military guy, and then eventually over time swaps stories basically, and begins to say that instead all of this was just human black budget stuff and all of the Dulce mythology and all of the connected bases, that all that stuff it could exist, that the cattle mutilations and all that's like it's real, everything. He never claimed that anything was fake, from my understanding. Nothing was fake, but everything was just pure human. He's somebody who I probably, if I were to make my official opinion on this known, I would probably agree with him a lot. I think a lot of it is human, but I would take an extra step and go from it's just humans to I would argue that the aliens could be real in the sense that they are demons or fallen angels, but not that they are actual aliens or actual creatures that lived for thousands of years underground that we're interacting with, or any of the other theories. I would argue that if the aliens are real, that they're just demons anyway. And if it is human stuff, then it's humans experimenting with stuff that aliens are giving them.
Yeah.
But Cooper's biggest claim was part of the secrecy of the governments was their compartmentalization. He said that there's such a select group that gets to see everything that there's no real way for you to whistleblow on everything.
Right.
That the people who are at that highest level, and you know, my thought process kind of went to, and I kind of taking liberties here in wondering if the people who did end up self-unalived were some of the people who would have had that
A lot more access
Yes.
across different
and that
parts.
that they were unalived before they were able to ever even release truth. You know, and I kind of wonder if that's not happening again in our modern.
Yeah.
All of the scientists ended up missing is these are people who have that information, and rather than our government agencies like risking them whistleblowing,
We got a lot of liabilities right now. Let's just get rid of
they're
them.
just either so. I've got a theory on that I want to finish with.
Okay.
Remind me to finish
Okay.
on that. But yeah, you can read his book Beyond a Pale Horse. It talks about the programs, the extraterrestrials, the underground bases, the connection between them, all of them. I really can't talk.
I gotta fit it
Military.
before I go into any other books. I gotta finish my Lord of the Rings listen through.
Yeah, that's necessary. Absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were just
No, you're good.
failing to talk, so I figured I'd throw that in there.
Nope. But yeah, as I said, he kind of flip flopped, and by the time he passed away in 2001, and a lot of his beliefs shifted dramatically from his earlier stuff. Whereas figures like John Lear really stayed on that trail. You know, they stayed on that same thought process. But a lot of people think maybe that he originally was a whistleblower, but then eventually he was got.
Yeah.
And that's why he switched and was like, oh no, it's just humans and blah, blah, blah. Some people believe the other side, that the more that he looked into it, the more he realized it was just humans. I don't know. But whether or not his claims were accurate, exaggerated, manipulated, false, he did play a major role early on in transforming the idea of the Dulce Base becoming and being what it is. And that's kind of the whole shebang of the Dulce Base. And if you kind of piece those three guys' stories together, basically what we're left with is this is a base outside of Dulce, New Mexico. It's 2.5 miles underground. There's 7 layers to it. The top layers are human controlled. The bottom layers are alien controlled. And in the middle, you have experiment. And as you go down, the more and more interaction between the aliens and humans exist until eventually. So it's like you've got humans at the top, humans with a little alien and human combined. Then you have the alien with a little bit of human influence. And then you have the alien only, and then the bottom, I think, is where the alien living quarters supposedly were. That's the full blown like picture of what they presented. And in that base, there are underground tunnels that connect to all of the different bases that are underground in the United States. And so when they do finally discover something, they just take it to the nearest underground base, drop it down onto the train, and then take it where it needs to go based off of its importance. And so Area 51 would be like the alien spacecraft tech, whereas Dulce Base would be the alien research and biological base, supposedly. And that's kind of the gist of it all. Everything we have after 1995 is so influenced by all of these guys that they're more researchers than they are whistleblowers. We don't really have any from.
It's not really fresh information at that point.
Yes.
It's just, yeah.
It's people who are doing research and finding and discovering stuff. And there's a lot there. And I don't want to diminish anything that they provided, but I feel like anybody could go and look that stuff up if they want to learn more about the Dulce Base.
Yeah.
But as far as like our show of like concrete information, like whistleblower information level stuff, I feel like those are the foundational pieces as to what the Dulce Base is. Yeah. From there, gosh, you can run 100 different ways with what the truth is. Is it just human base? Is it a cover up? Is it actually us trying to interact with somebody they think are aliens, but might be demons? Is it actually aliens? Is it us knowingly having conversation with demons? Is it just humans being horrific people? Is it a psyops even within the military and government? You know, and they put out this idea of aliens when in reality it's just the demonic, but that who would want to work with something demonic? And so then they're like, oh no, it's aliens. And so maybe within even the you know, there's so many different ways you can run with the Dulce Base.
Yeah. What's the right rabbit hole and how deep does it go?
Right. I have a theory with the modern scientists.
Okay.
And I think it ties into this really well. I wonder if the modern scientists, even the ones that they've found that allegedly were deceased, weren't actually deceased. Because in those situations, it's always a situation where they're found and they're unrecognizable. They're dying in like a fire or mauled or in a car wreck.
Yep.
And so there's no way really to truly verify who they are based off of their appearance. And the ones that aren't that way are just missing. I wonder if instead of them taking them out, if they aren't just either kidnapping them. And so my thought process goes to the ones who weren't willing were kidnapped. And that's where they were then falsely faked their deaths. The ones who went willingly just disappeared so that they could, in theory, at some point return back to their life.
Sure. But
the ones who were unwilling are stuck.
You're not
coming back.
Yep.
And so that they're all actually still alive and they were brought in to work on something our government has decided is the utmost importance. Yeah. But the reality is it's most likely something along like the New World Order-ish stuff that is going to be part of the Great Deception. So bring it back to that point in time, it makes you wonder if some of the big scientists that were disappearing weren't being quote unquote kidnapped and replaced as well. And the ones that did die like very visible, horrific, like, in that time were people that they were just being silenced. Yeah. Instead of being brought in or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. But one way or the other, the Dulce Base is a very crazy conspiracy theory that I felt like no matter how much I researched, and there's a lot that I didn't share on the episodes. Again, with even the modern guys, we could probably I wouldn't mind doing one episode of the modern guys. I just don't want to do a part 5.
Right.
Because we've never done a part 5. But yeah, leave it for a comeback episode of
I'm with that.
Unfinished Dulce Base. I don't know. I could have brought it in and brought
Lost
it into
episode.
Maybe, yeah. I could have brought it into today's episode, but it would have just been such a long episode but anyway. And no matter how much research I did, there was always what felt like too big of a coincidental explanation for stuff. So you have Phil, who claims that he's shot by the aliens and loses half of his appendages. This is from last week's episode.
I will be catching up.
So allegedly, his college roommate, that can't be verified that he's his college roommate, really. His college roommate claims that he lost it due to an electrical burn. And he had health issues because he kept getting put in mental health institutions. But meanwhile, his ex-wife is saying, like, no, actually, once he stopped taking the medicine that they were prescribing, that's when he became more like himself and there was actual clarity. And then there's like, well, no, his dad was actually somebody different than who Phil claimed his dad was, but Phil had the documentation that proved who his dad was. And so there's just this weird, like, everything has too good of a response back. And enough people came out that it's hard to deny that something didn't happen there, especially with the Operation Gasbuggy. Yeah. We know, like, they knew Fallout existed in the 60s. Yeah. Who's the idiot who went, hey, let's do this, crack these rocks open so we can get the natural gas, and magically the Fallout just won't exist.
I have a term for that issue that I have come up with. It's the government paradox. And it's occurred too many times to like not have come up with something for it. So that's why that's just the term I'm going to assign it. There's only two options with something like that. Either A, you're lying to us, and so we shouldn't trust you, or B, you're idiots, and so we shouldn't trust you. And so it just comes down to you're just trying to tell us to ignore logic and just trust you, and we can't. And we shouldn't. So don't trust the government.
For real, though.
One way or another, you're not trustworthy.
Yeah.
Whether it's incompetence or whether it's lack of integrity and honesty, doesn't matter. You're not worth trusting.
Yeah.
We don't trust the government.
Yep.
If you do, you're silly. You're a silly goose.
And when the government, quote unquote, explains away all this stuff, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, that makes me trust you less on this, you know?
Yeah.
There's just a lot. And I come to the conclusion of, I think the biggest tell in all of this, in my opinion, is Phil Schneider's alleged self-unaliving. That very clearly was not what the official narrative claims it was.
Yeah.
And because of that, my immediate response is why?
Yeah.
And I think that why is the most important why of all of the Dulce Base questions. Because if that why was somebody was just really annoyed by him, if that why was somebody just happened to break into his house, if that why was anything other than he was being silenced, now I've got some issues with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But if that why was he was being silenced, it brings a lot of fuel to the fire of what the Dulce Base was. But yeah, this episode, I tried to explain it, that this one was a lot less eventful than the previous three, but I feel like all three of these characters were extremely important to the Dulce Base lore. And again, John Lear himself brings so much credibility to everything that he talked about because of who he was, that it's hard to ignore him. Mm. But there wasn't really anything flashy with him. There wasn't a fun story. He's just the heir of Learjet and came out and was a pilot and had stories. Those stories happen to be corroborated by an anonymous source who came out who has no documentation. Yeah. That also tends to be, or happened to be corroborated with another source who comes out, who eventually changes his mind and decides that it wasn't aliens all after all. All of that is corroborated by Phil Schneider, who was self-unalived by proxy. Yeah. And we're just left going, okay. And then everything since then has just been research-based and not whistleblower-based, which makes me just go, why? Why in the 80s and 90s, where there's so many people coming out blowing like as whistleblowers, for there to be nobody since then? That's kind of, and maybe they just started locking down information better. Maybe they started dealing with people who are whistleblowers faster. I don't know, but there's definitely something to it. And I am so thankful for Xander. I just want to shout you out one more time. Thank you for putting us onto this, onto the Dulce Base. I'm going to continue doing my research. I know we're probably, you guys, from these 3 episodes, you probably got half of the research I did. And I guarantee I haven't found half the information that's out there. Yeah. There's just so much stuff available. So I'm going to continue doing research on the Dulce Base. If you find information that we didn't cover in here and you think, hey, it'll be good for the next episode you do later on, send it to me and I'll store all that information for when we do our next episode on it. And outside of that, don't forget to join our Patreon, patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. Buy your supplements. All your workout needs can be covered through Insane Labs. Use the code BABigfoot for a 45% discount on select items. And don't forget to
Be your BA best.
and join the Discord.
Yeah.
Hit me up for the link if you need it. Just shoot me a message wherever you know me on social media. Find Biblically Accurate Bigfoot and shoot me a message and we'll get you in the Discord.
We love you.
You guys are amazing. Okay, bye.
Bye.
In the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet he the maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God?